A wise woman once said, karma is the guy on the Chiefs. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thunderstruck Podcast with Tore. I am your host, Tore Ancona. This is episode 2, where I cover all things Los Angeles Chargers. In the last episode, I predicted that Justin Herbert would throw over 230 yards. Did he do that? Yes, he did. He actually threw over 300 yards, in fact. I also predicted that Keenan Allen would score a touchdown. Did that happen? Yes, it sure did. And I also predicted that the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil would upset the Kansas City Chiefs. And did that happen? Yes, it did. 27-21, your final score. The Los Angeles Chargers defeating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since September of 2021. I am hyped. But before I kick things off, no pun intended, I'm going to talk about the most memorable win in my Chargers fans' lifetime. Let me know in the comments for your NFL team what has been the most memorable win. Mine was in December of 2018, where Phillip Rivers went to Arrowhead and pulled off an historic comeback against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. What a coinkadink. Detrez Newsome, Justin Jackson, filling in for Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon with injuries. They overcame so much adversity and really shocked the world with their playmaking ability that game. Also, Antonio Gates, believe it or not, was making some plays that game as well. Travis Benjamin with a clutch grab on 4th and 8 from a dime by Phillip Rivers. And of course, the MVP of that game, Mike Williams, 3 total touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 receiving touchdowns, and also a wide open 2-point conversion. That has to be the most memorable victory. I just have to admit, until we win a Super Bowl, knock on wood. I hope it happens at some point in my lifetime. Anyway, but we're going to just transition to the Chargers versus the Chiefs last night, not in 2018, although I can talk about that game all day long if I could, but I can't help myself. We beat the Chiefs. The Chargers defeated the Chiefs for the first time since 2021. This means a lot to me, especially that every ESPN, TikTok, YouTube analyst, for the most part, predicted that the Kansas City Chiefs would defeat the Chargers. And shout out to Nick Wright for saying that this is the easiest bet of the season, that the Chiefs would beat the Chargers. I wonder what he has to say about that now. And also, shout out to Ryan Clark for saying that Justin Herbert is not clutch. He's been terrible under pressure. I wonder what you have to say to that now, because he was pretty good under pressure. Anyway, but Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, for the most part, last year, they made it very apparent that the rushing attack is going to be highly involved in their offensive game plan. I mean, we saw it through the touches of Kamani Vidal, Hassan Haskins, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins last year. So going into this game, including myself, I thought that Amarian Hampton and Najee Harris was going to combine for basically 40 total carries. But man, Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, that was the best Greg Roman game I've ever seen from him as a Los Angeles Charger offensive coordinator. So going into this game, I really had high expectations that the Chargers would lean more on the rushing attack, because we all know that Jim Harbaugh is a run-first NFL coach. He likes to get some bullies on the offensive line, as they did with Mekhi Becton, which shout out to Mekhi Becton for battling through that stomach bug, and shout out to Jamari Sawyer for filling the role at some parts of the game. But shout out to Mekhi Becton for sticking through. He's very tough. He looks like that he's a fierce competitor, and he gave up no pressures. So shout out Mekhi Becton. But Jim Harbaugh made it very apparent last year that he is a run-first team. Not this game. Justin Herbert, 25 out of 34 through the air with 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also I think he had over 30 rushing yards. I want to talk about the defense just briefly, real quick. I mean, they held their ground. I know the Chiefs are going to score a few touchdowns here and there. They're going to go down the field and score a last-minute field goal with Harrison Butker, but they held their ground. Deion Henley had a sack. Deshaun Hand had a sack. Teair Tart had 4 deflections, 5 if you're including the slap on Travis Kelce. Derwin James had a tackle for loss. Dante Jackson had some sparks with some nice tackling and also with some deflections as well. I'm very, very fully confident in Jesse Minter's defense this year. I think they are fast, they are furious, and they are balling. I mean, they are attacking Patrick Mahomes' passing attack pretty effectively, which transitions to a passing attack that was carving the Chiefs' defense. The Chargers' passing attack was one of the best supporting cast wide receiver core I've ever seen. Really supported Justin Herbert this game, and it was really apparent that you had Trey Harris, who had only 1 target, but a very big first down catch. You had Tyler Conklin, which honestly scared me off of that fumble, but shout out Ladd McConkey for getting that fumble out of bounds. Great IQ. You also had Will Dissly with a very clutch first down late in the game on the final drive, and you had Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen as 2 dynamic route runners, which I think very highly of. I think Ladd is one of the best route runners in the league, and I think Keenan Allen is one of the best route runners in the league. I mean, he's proving to me at age 33, he still got it. He's aging like LeBron James, which shout out to LeBron James one time for predicting that the Los Angeles Chargers would beat the Chiefs. I guess goats, no ball. But anyway, Keenan Allen proving to me that he can still be that third down merchant type of player. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 3, just give him the rock. He's going to get open somehow. He's going to cook defenders with the slant route and automatic first down when that happens. Ladd McConkey showed amazing plays, over 70 yards, and I want to shout out my favorite receiver performance of the night by far. I told you in the last episode, he gets a bad rep from the media, especially social media. Quentin Johnston with 2 touchdowns was my favorite wide receiver performance of the night. Everybody, including social media, was shocked. And I just want to say, I always believed in QJ. Ha, that's a bar. But anyway, I mentioned in the last episode that Quentin Johnston just gets a bad rep from social media. I think he made a lot of plays last year in 2024. Mass improvement from his rookie year in 2023. And I think if he stays healthy, I think he can do some damage with that receiver core. I mean, everybody is highlighting Ladd McConkey. Everybody's highlighting Amarian Hampton, Najee Harris, and Keenan Allen. But QJ, don't sleep on QJ. He is a baller. And I really think his confidence after this game is really going to shine throughout the year if he stays on the field. So shout out QJ. Now, transitioning to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes played a really great game. He's going to make some plays. I look at the Kansas City Chiefs as the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors. I mean, they're going to make some plays where you're going to just shake your head. I mean, that 4th and 7 conversion was absolutely phenomenal. The play where Mahomes was literally about to be tripped on the ground, throws a dime to Juju. They're going to make some plays, but usually what I notice in these Chargers-Chiefs matchup is how the Chargers respond to those splash plays, and they never really execute another play when stuff hits the fan, but they did this game. I mean, they did not bite when the Chargers gave up a touchdown to Mahomes or gave up a touchdown to Travis Kelce. They didn't break. It was such a sight to see. I think it was really apparent that if you blitz Mahomes, it's going to throw him off a little bit more than usual. He missed a lot of throws when he was under pressure, including the one in the end zone when Travis Kelce was wide open and just overthrew him. So it really is a very important effect that Jesse Minter is highlighting, how to beat this team. And we saw in that Eagles Super Bowl how well the defense can respond to the Chiefs' big plays. And the Chargers for sure did that. Justin Herbert, MVP type performance. over 350 total yards, I believe, 3 touchdowns. He looked calm under pressure. I mean, he always did. We've known this since his rookie year, his first year with Staley, in fact, that he can let the ball fly. I mean, his second year in the league, he threw over 5,000 passing yards, but since Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman has been a part of this coaching staff, they made it very apparent to focus on the rushing attack, and they didn't this game. I mean, Amarian Hampton had some few flashes, same with Najee Harris, but that passing attack, I think Justin Herbert has this supporting cast to get over the hump. I really do. Keenan Allen opened things up for every single receiver to make a play. And although Keandre Lambert-Smith didn't communicate well with Justin Herbert on his only target, I still have high hopes for him. I think he's going to have a big game against the Raiders. Justin Herbert, I have full faith that he is going to have an amazing year thanks to the offensive line protection. Joe Alt at left tackle, 41 passing downs and no pressures allowed. I mean, he was going head-to-head with Chris Jones, absolutely locked him up. I mean, Joe Alt is proving time and time again that he was the right draft pick over Malik Nabers, especially after the tragic Rashawn Slater injury. Trey Pipkins gave up a few pressures, but that's as expected because George Karlaftis is a very good edge rusher, but it was manageable. Herbert got out of there. I mean, especially on the game-winning run, Justin Herbert made a move on Chris Jones, made him bite to the other side and just ice the game. Probably one of my favorite plays that Justin Herbert has ever made. Mekhi Becton, I mentioned earlier, battling through a stomach bug, still a warrior, still a beast, still a huge factor to the rushing attack, but also the pass protection. Bradley Bozeman gave up a few pressures as well, but still manageable. And Zion Johnson, I believe, gave up no pressure. So very, very, very good performance from the offensive line. And if we can compete like that every single week, I don't see why we can't win every game. Justin Herbert with time is one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league. Before I get out of here and before I wrap up this episode 2 on the Thunderstruck Podcast with Tore, I'm going to give a nice shout out to Chiefs Kingdom for complaining. Yeah, I saw a lot of comments on social media. Xavier Worthy was out. Rashee Rice was out. I want you to wake up to reality that this is the life of an NFL fan. I know, it's crazy, right? Refs are going to miss a call. There's going to be injuries on your team. I know that's like a nightmare for you guys that you guys haven't lived with for quite some time, but welcome. Doesn't feel good, huh? At least you didn't have your star defensive player, arguably the best player on your defense, suspended the week before we play y'all, because last year, Derwin James got suspended out against the Chiefs. Also, our whole O-line was injured last year on the first matchup against the Chiefs. Also, the last matchup against the Chiefs in December, Ladd McConkey wasn't playing. So, but Justin Herbert's not clutch against the Chiefs. So I'm just using your logic against you. And I also want to mention that Jawan Taylor, for the last 3 years, how long has he been on the team? Let me know in the comments. He will always jump for a false start. He will always jump for a false start. Referees actually called it this time, but I've seen it all. So I don't want to hear it, to be honest with you. And that will wrap up the episode, Thunderstruck Podcast with Tore. In the next episode, episode 3, I will preview Chargers versus Raiders. I will give you my predictions then. What a time. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. Shout out T Swift. I don't hate T Swift. I just don't like the Chiefs. So I just want to throw that out there so the Swifties don't come after me. And have a great rest of your day. I really appreciate it if you stayed and finished the podcast. Follow me on all social media platforms. Link is in my bio. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Bolt up. Peace.